difference to me, and I think Jamie was a little more aware of how loud a gas coach would be. The engine is really loud right now because he's accelerating. We're going slightly uphill. Most part, the engine noise doesn't bother me that much. I mean, there were times that we had the generator going in the Alpha, which was in the front, especially if we needed the house air conditioning to run when we were driving. The main thing is the way it rides, and this is the only gas coach I'd ever ridden in, and we didn't obviously go on any roads that were bad when we were taking it out for a test. Saturday we went for a ride in our friend's gas coach to compare the ride. Theirs was similar. They've taken care of a lot of the squeaks and the rattles. This one has a lot of squeaks and rattles. We're on the same stretch of the I-10 right now, kind of near where we had the blowout on the Alpha. It's a very bad road through here, very bad. So I turned the camera on. Not sure if you'll be able to hear it, but as we go over these bumps and how everything in here shakes. Yeah, Devil's Tower view, campground. So we're headed back to Luxury RVs of Arizona today. Tomorrow they're going to begin working on that dent that's on one of the basement doors. And so we will stay at Luxury RV of Arizona for about a week. Hey guys, so we are coming to you from our new soundstage, Rosie 2.3.
Yeah, we're back at the RV dealership where we purchased the new RV.
One of the things that people have asked is why didn't we have an inspection? Because we were real advocates for having an inspection. And this time we decided not to.
Yeah, I mean, I actually purchased the at-home version of the course from NRVIA, I think is what it is. I purchased the home version course and to be an RV inspector. So I walked through and tested out a lot of the stuff myself at all the spots where there could be potential water leakage and didn't see any issues as far as that. Because it had the 30-day warranty, that gave us some peace of mind that if issues did arise, we would be able to bring it back and have them fix whatever was wrong. And also because of the age of it, we're going to be able to get an extended warranty. I did go through and check a lot of this stuff out myself as well. So
I think one of the things that we learned from our lesson of our first RV and the inspection that we had is that your typical RV inspection does not include the drivetrain, the motor, any of that stuff. It includes all the RV parts. The most that they will do is they check your fluids.
Yeah,
so
they do a fluid check. So there's a couple different, they'll just check the oil, some they'll check the oil and transmission and things like that. And basically what they're doing is they're taking samples of it to see if there's any metal shavings or any of that kind of stuff in.
But then they're sending it away.
They send it.
So then you have to wait.
They have to send it to a place and they analyze it. And then if you pay more, they can expedite it to make it happen faster. But
so those were kind of that was more something that Jamie can't inspect himself.
Right.
And so we would have wanted done, but there was no practical way to actually get that inspection fully done. The thing, we would have had to bring it to a shop somewhere, and there already is a shop here and they were already doing that. We checked all the reviews on where we've purchased it from, and they have nothing but awesome reviews, repeat customers, and so that gave us a lot of peace of mind. They spent about a week or two going through things before we even came back to say we wanted to buy it for sure.
Right.
That's why we didn't get an inspection. Jamie really felt confident that after 6 years of this with motorhomes, taking the course, working with people like Aaron, the mobile RV tech, and learning so much from other people, experts in the coach that we had before. We had two experts that he worked with on fixing things in it. I think he felt really confident to be able to make that determination himself. That being said, if you're not like that, then I definitely would still recommend an inspection. You're looking at about $1,200 to $1,500 for a full inspection. A good tech will come out and probably spend 2 days going through everything.
We had the Holiday Rambler inspected, and
That was original Rosie.
And what ended up happening was he went through and inspected it, but they're supposed to go through the service paperwork to look through all that stuff. And he missed one of the pages, and basically that was the page that said that Cummins believed that the radiator either needed to be repaired or replaced. And that ended up biting us because the prior owner basically took that information and epoxied the radiator so that it wouldn't leak. Well, once it got up to a certain temperature, the epoxy didn't hold and it started leaking. And that's where we had almost a $5,000 repair very quickly into owning that RV. So
they're just having an inspector. There's no guarantee. If you don't know anything, we were newbies at the time, so we felt like we really needed that inspection.
Right.
Then, but right now we did not feel that we needed it.
Right, and because I'm a lot more knowledgeable now and owning 2 coaches and then doing a lot of repairs and all that kind of stuff myself, I've learned a lot, so I'm able to test a lot more things and have a lot more knowledge than what I had initially going in.
We kind of always wanted this kind of a setup with the front seats. We didn't have that in the diesel pusher. We've got a pretty decent sized pantry. Not very organized yet. This was a quick trip to get warranty issues worked on. Haven't quite figured out where food is going to go and how it's going to be organized, but we've got 3 here and then 2 non-sliding shelves down here. You gonna build something that slides out on the bottom?
Yeah, I'm gonna make it match what the top of the pantry is with slide-out drawers.
So we've got this really nice table set up. We kind of like that. I was kind of torn whether I wanted a dinette, but this affords us more storage back here, both this area. The table is out all the way. It does slide in, so if we're not wanting to put the slides out. And our thought was to be able to put our toaster oven here or some kind of an oven here because the coach does not have an oven, which was one of my wanteds but not haves. The microwave is a convection oven, but then you've got to put different parts in and out of it, and it just is kind of a hassle. So this stove, somebody put in these little areas here to store the top of the stove, which is kind of nice. But the burners are actually a decent amount apart. I was afraid because of the walls right here if I'd be able to fit 2 pans at the same time, and I was. I have additional food space with these. Our other Holiday Rambler had this same type of a setup where you could put stuff up here, and we missed that when we were in the Alpha, so I've just got to get back to using it again. We don't really have anything that needs to go up here very much, so we have all of this. Okay, so this was the most important thing for me, was to have a full-size fridge. It's actually not as full as a double residential fridge like we had before, but it's pretty big and it's new, so it doesn't use a lot of power, which is nice. And then the freezer space is incredible. Not that I need that much freezer space while traveling, but got double drawer here. So this is something that we didn't know that we would really want, but everyone who has one told us how much they love it. It's been perfect since we're plugged in. As long as we're plugged in, this is a great heater. It was cold this morning. All we had to do was turn that on when we got up. This beautiful space is the TV. Can't you tell? Now, we're still here taking care of warranty issues, and replacing the TV is one of the issues that they're doing. So they tried to see why it wasn't working, yanked it out, and ordered another one for us. So that was pretty cool. We'll have a new TV to go with the 148 remote controls that we found in the RV. They said for some reason every used RV comes in with all these extra remote controls. No one can figure out why. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. And no, we're not talking about Dexter. How comfortable are these?
They're not comfortable at all. They're terrible. So as you know, in the previous video when we were walking through RVs, how the RV furniture was basically all falling apart and flaking and all that kind of stuff. So I believe that's basically what happened here. So the previous owner decided to buy these grandma recliners that are totally uncomfortable. When you sit in them, you immediately feel like you're falling back because the back of the seat kind of sits on an angle, so they're not comfortable at all. So these are gonna go, and we're gonna find something that actually fits in here that's gonna work a lot better for us.
All of the recliner sofas that we found, you're talking at least $1,500. The problem is they've got to come apart in pieces, like we did the Rec Pro in the Holiday Rambler before. So it's got to come apart in pieces. Not only that, if it's going to recline, you want it so that this doesn't take up space going back against the wall. It needs to recline forward because otherwise they have to sit out too far into the area when the slide comes in. Dexter's pretty happy in here. There's a nice spot for him. The one thing we didn't want was a half bath. We really would have rather have had living space, storage space. We didn't feel like we needed 2 bathrooms, but it seemed like everything that we were looking for during the years that we were looking for, they put in these half baths. If they didn't, there was usually some other thing that didn't check off the boxes that we needed. So we ended up with a half bath. People say we're really going to love it. I don't know. It's kind of nice, especially when we traveled here, that you didn't have to, climb over anything to get to the bathroom, but here it is. So it's nice, decent sized, even more so than a lot of the RVs we looked at with just one bath that has more counter space and storage space. All right, let's continue the tour. Let's take a look at the bedroom. So these are the colors that were in the Alpha that I was slowly working it all towards. I don't think we'll do these colors again. I'll show you the color palette that we're looking at. Kind of makes you feel like you're on a boat. A lot of things make me think I'm on a boat. I guess there was a picture. Oh, there was a headboard back there. Jamie will probably build another one. That wall will definitely be painted. Lots of storage in the bedroom, not as much as we had in the Alpha. We had a 10-foot long full length closet, so getting used to 2 small closets in comparison, but lots of drawers. Under the bed there is pretty big storage space, and this is the ensuite master bathroom. This is a full-size sink like you'd have in a house. This medicine cabinet is pretty deep. You can see how deep it is. These cabinets are really deep, so lots of storage back here if we needed to have winter clothes and summer clothes, both kinds with us. Nice big shower. So this is the color palette that I'm looking at, what colors that we'll do. Nice soft colors, but still natural colors. That'll incorporate furniture and walls and cabinets into those colors. And of course, cabinets need to have some coordination with this. This is actual tiles. It's not a peel and stick. We are actually going to get back to renovating. We didn't even get to finish Rosie 2. This one, I would have fell in love with the colors and everything in 2010 for it.
Right.
But I'm not in love with them now. I don't like all the dark. It's just needs to look more modern, more fresh, more light. So we're looking at changing colors. I've painted a lot of the cabinets in that Holiday Rambler. It was beautiful, and we were really sick that we had to sell that coach, that it turned out not to be right for us. We're not going to do those same colors again, but we are going to do some light and bright. If you remember, in the last video in Quartzsite where we looked at RVs, we looked at a 2023 Holiday Rambler and loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty much the same exact layout as this, but it was all very light and bright colors. The cabinets were all white. There was light gray on some of the walls, and then the cabinets themselves actually had kind of a grayish blue antiquing in the corners of all the, that was kind of a grayish blue color. So it was very light and bright and very, and when you're in a small space and you have dark colors, it just kind of makes it even smaller. The flooring in here would be real easy to change out, not a big deal.
It's just a linoleum tile, right?
Yeah, it's those, peel and stick down tiles, I believe. Would not be hard to change out.
The carpeting in here, it looks like it's installed almost like in a house, so it's not going to be a big deal to change, just money and time. We're going to look to that. We would definitely do some renovation videos, which is always fun.
Funny thing is, we're back to renovating a Holiday Rambler. So,
So some people have asked about the name of our RVs, and of course, they're all keep being named Rosie. Well, we named our channel Roaming with Rosie. We never thought we would ever have another motorhome other than the first Holiday Rambler. We loved it that much. Surprise, surprise, this is our third motorhome, and they're still Rosie. So where did the name Rosie come from? Rosie actually came from the name Rosebud, and Jamie's a real movie buff, so he can tell you what that story is.
the movie Citizen Kane was like one of my favorite movies, and in that movie, when in the very beginning, he's given a snow sled, and it's the name of the snow sled is Rosebud. In the very end of the movie, when he dies, he's holding a snow globe, and the last word out of his mouth was Rosebud. Rosebud. And then the people going, "What's Rosebud?" And he goes, "Oh, it's a snow globe." Well, no, that wasn't what it was. It was the sled. And the sled meant a lot to him, even though he was this multi-millionaire guy who had passed away. And my thinking was, well, let's call our RV Rosebud because it's our land sled. And the color of original Rosie was called Crown Jewel Rose. That was one of the original colors. So I'm like, okay, Rosebud, that kind of fits. Well, then when I said that to Linda, she's like, well, I don't like Rosebud so much. Let's call it Rosie. So that's how the name Rosie came about.
So I'm not Rosie, but I do answer to Rosie because it's confusing to people who don't know the story. Our channel name is Roaming with Rosie, so the alpha became Rosie 2, I didn't make it Rosie number 2. We didn't do that because we knew there could be more after that, and we just figured, okay, they're all going to be named Rosie. Yeah. Rosie 2, Rosie also. But just for clarification, this one is 0.3, so it's Rosie 2.3.
Right, and it does have...
this one has rose.
It does have that rose color in it as well. Not the majority of it, but it does have some of that color in it as well, so that kind of fits.
Thank you to everyone for all the comments and engagement with our videos. It's really helped YouTube to serve it to more people who seem to like it. I think our story is something that could happen to anybody with the blowout and what followed from that. So we hope that you'll continue to come along on the ride with us. On our next episode, we'll be telling you more about what happened with fixing stuff up. We're going to head out and camp for a week. Not sure where we're going to go. And good times ahead. Thank you so much for watching.
And if you're not yet a subscriber, go ahead and hit that subscribe button.
And ring that bell, because that way you'll get a notification of some sort when we upload the next video.
And we'd really appreciate it if you share it with your friends and family on social media. And make sure to leave a comment. That way you could be part of the conversation.
Until next time,
we'll see ya.